Left Los Angeles and then we went to San Francisco. We joined Sufi group.
But before that, Jurgis, when you heard that Baba called us to India, did you have your money already?
Well, I was working and I got money. I had no problem to get a ticket. And actually, I wanted to go with my children, my son and my daughter. And we went through all the process, registration, and then getting shots, all kinds of shots we had to get for different diseases, requirements.
Remember how many?
Yeah, that time was requirements, you stand in line, and that was in Venice bookstore. But my kids then later, suddenly when I had to go, when time was to go, they get other ideas.
Yeah, it was one of the girls, Mary, who went. Her father was a doctor, and he gave her all the shots free.
That's true, yes. So anyway, so I didn't have any really problems for raising money to go. There were people who had doubts and changed their mind because Baba was not anymore in his body. He was planning, everybody. Too, when I was going, I assumed that Baba will be there, meet Baba. But then he dropped his body. But I never doubted. I thought that somehow, somewhere we meet here, That was the idea.
So you thought somehow you'd meet Baba even though he dropped his body?
Yes. I was even, when I drove in the meeting, in the Venice, I always said prayers and I felt his Baba there, and I felt always Baba is there. So.
It never felt like Baba dropped his body to you?
Right. No, I knew that he dropped his body, but I felt that the spirit and everything is there. I didn't feel, I had no doubt that I have to go. That's the type of thing. Other people thought, maybe we should not go, no, but there's nothing happening. And I was kind of sure that it will be happening. He will be there. In spirit, that's how it was anyway. And Baba said, since we went to Sufis, you heard the stories. The plane was...
Replay it, because you might remember better than me. Besides, the camera doesn't know. The video doesn't know the story, so what happened? The plane was delayed or something?
No, the plane, there were so many songs and humor and stories going in the plane. Everybody was singing.
On the way to...
at first,
to India. Tokyo first.
We stopped in Tokyo, yeah. The people said that the plane would fly even without gasoline. If the motor was stopped, it was so high spirit. and then from Tokyo we went with Air India over the Indian continent to Bombay. And that was significant for me, that we went over India, and I know how Indian people suffered and how many poor and people who were hungry. And there in the plane, in the air, we were treated like kings. Every minute was coming desserts and food and all extravagant things which I never even knew exist. The Indian airlines served it, remember that?
Oh yes, very much so.
And perfume and that and shaving.
Yeah, all that things.
I just, every minute something was brought to us. And I looked down and I said, what is going on? Such a contrast. So anyway, then when we landed in Bombay, there was night, or late evening. It was dark already, and we were loaded in buses. And I remember the road driving through city. There were Baba people greeting us, MeherBabaLibrary.
At the airport?
Yeah, airport, and then, I don't know, a little bit close to the airport. Yeah, different corners. They knew the road, I think. And then we drove all night through Ghats, and then the bus some buses get
couldn't make it up.
yeah, couldn't make it up. Yeah, so we had to go out and push the buses. Yeah. So that was the.
I remember that. We had to push the buses.
Yeah, that was kind of. Then what happened to me really is I started feeling the difference when we went in Pune, with the bus in Pune, early in the morning, and sun was rising. At the beginning already Pune looked for me like a home. I feel like a home, and each tree and shades. It was still early in the morning, and then the red sun was going up, big red sun, and somebody, I don't know, from Indian people who escorted us, said, the sun is rising right over Sassoon Hospital, where the Baba was born, and I felt like I was born there. Consciously I knew, obviously I was not born there, but I felt very strong that I was born there. Now I don't know how can it be explained. And then we went into the trust compound. I would assume, I don't know really exactly.
No, we didn't go to the trust compound.
No, that was in Pune. Yeah, it was in Pune.
We got divided up into staying in different places. I went to the Pune club. Where did you stay?
I stayed, I think there was a hotel.
The Amir?
Amir, I think Amir. There was two hotels, Amir and another one. What is the other name?
I don't remember that.
On both corners.
Right.
Yeah, one of those hotels I stayed in, yeah. But I don't know, where was it when we came out of bus? The Mandalin met us. That was in Pune.
Did we go to Guru Prasad? Later, but not the first day.
Yeah, but first day, I remember when I get out of bus, I was just climbing out of bus. Jal, Baba's brother, come and embrace me.
I don't remember where we got off.
I don't know, but there was somewhere there, somewhere in this area. And he gave me a hug and he says, welcome to, now that's your first hours in India, in Baba's birthplace, Baba's home. And I was thinking I'm already for ages, I'm so long here, I had that feeling.
It was not new to you.
Not, I felt, but he's talking, I'm so long here.
You felt like you had been here many times, or
not many times,
or just
I'm here long time. And then I realized I knew that I'm not long time.
But yet inside you felt
yes, that was kind of the continuation of feeling of home, And when I went for a walk, walked out, and each cobblestone and fence and each tree felt like home. Like going back to grandmother or mother's home somewhere in the country. And at the same time, I know it isn't so, but that's how it felt. Now I lost my train.
Then, so when Jaw embraced us and said, welcome. Then, do you remember, did we get sent off to our different hotels? Then I remember they told us to rest. For one day.
That was another story. I felt right away that I have to do something for Baba, for something. The ego started functioning very powerful, and I was thinking I have to do Baba's portrait right there on the spot, Baba's head. So I talked to some people who were around Indian, and they were very nice about that. They brought me to different sculptors in Pune, and I get clay and I get some material for armature, and I went to hotel, and in free time, in the evenings, I started doing Baba's head right in the bedroom, on the floor, sitting on the floor. So we would go to Guru Prasad in the morning, and in the evening I would sit in the bedroom at night. And so I spent a couple armature fell down. So I say, okay, I'm wrong. I will go home and then do the Baba's head in United States. So I could then relax and enjoy my stay in India. And what I remember when we went to visit Baba's Samadhi.
Wait, before that, we didn't go the first day.
No, but
oh, you want to talk?
Well, look, I can say the first day when I came to 8 o'clock, we had to get meeting with Baba.
8 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we went to the Guru Prasad in the hall.
What was your impression when the bus was driving up to Guru Prasad? We're entering the gates. Did you have any impressions? Anything you remember?
What I remember, it was a beautiful structure. That's what I remember.
You remember the mandalay greeting us out front?
Yes.
What do you remember most about that?
Most about that, I remember only when Eric came out and said, we have appointment with God, 8 o'clock.
In the hall.
In the hall. The clock was ringing 8 and it was kind of off key because electricity was not functioning right. You remember?
I remember, I thought it was 9 o'clock. Was it 8 o'clock?
Maybe it was 9. I thought 8, I don't know.
I don't remember it being off key. That's funny.
Yeah.
But no, it's very good you remember that. I didn't remember that.
I remember that sound was, and then Eric came and says, we have to appointment with God, and he says, I don't know what will happen. And his speech, whatever he talked, was very touching.
Do you remember much of what he said?
No.
I don't either.
No, I don't remember. I remember just the beginning, that it's 8 o'clock, we have appointed with God, that type of thing. And then we get programmed too, and the program was natural Sufis. They sang, they made performances, time went very fast. And Mandali was watching, and women Mandali were in the background watching too. And then, when we had to go, we had to bow. There was the chair, Baba's chair was there, so everybody kind of was assumed that Baba is sitting there. And we went down and bowed down to the chair. I don't know, was that first time the tradition started? I wonder. Bow down to Baba's chair. That could be just the beginning of the tradition.
That's attractive. I never thought about that.
No, everywhere in the world, Baba's chair is there. People,
that's an interesting point to make. Was that the first time they began bowing to his chair?
And at the beginning I was kind of didn't feel right about going and bowing to the chair.
Why?
Because I felt, I didn't have the ego, I guess, why I should bow to the chair. I was standing and watching people going and doing that, and then a lot of people were kind of a little, I can feel, they get slowly, but then you kind of, I thought to myself, well, I went so far from the United States to meet God, so I better go down to the chair at least. And then actually as soon as I did that, everything becomes soft inside,
Did it?
Yeah. And then I went out, and again, Charles was there, and he gave hug,
But how do you mean things, after you bowed down, things became soft inside?
Well,
Can you explain
the resistance was not there, I just was, I had resistance at the beginning, And that was not there anymore, it was just wonderful. Okay. That's what I remember, certain things. Then there were, we in the evening, it was first day. Then I came, we had still afternoon and evening free. There was time. And I don't know, one of the Mandalay or some organizer said, we should not go to Baba's house. We will go next day with our group. We should not go and bother or whatever, or it's dangerous to go alone in the evening. But I didn't hear that myself. I just find out later because I went there. I went there with Joyce Stormer.
She just died. She just went to Baba.
Yeah. She was with me. We went with her, and we went to visit Baba's house, and we were very nicely accepted and introduced to different Baba's rooms and the place where he put his head on the stone and the well, and explained about the well, the history about snake and water, and the only place where the water was there, I guess, when there was drought. Little stories. And then we went to Baba Jan's tomb.
You went as a group then? To Baba
No,
you and Joyce went on your own?
Yeah.
Oh, I went with the group.
Yeah, we were just alone there. I mean, two.
Oh, you and Joyce? Just Oh.
And bowed down, I actually frustrated because I saw everybody, the Muslims, they prostrated, so I did that too, on the floor to Baba Jan. And then we walked back to the hotel. I remember, and I held her hand, or she put her arm around my arm, and I don't know what it was, but suddenly a bunch of kids surrounded us.
Neighbors, the baby?
No.
Oh.
School kids, I guess, and start dancing around and singing. Because I thought they thought we were married or we were lovers, I don't know what. And they were coming more and more. We get actually scared what is going on. They dance around us and sing.
How sweet.
Yeah. And then we kind of start moving, then everything disappeared. But then we come back. When I think John, when he finds out that we were already visiting Baba around, he gave hell to Joyce. I think because Joyce probably knew, she met Baba, didn't she? Mm-hmm. So he didn't say nothing to me, but he really scolded out Joyce how she didn't listen to the orders. And I think she didn't know. I know, I didn't know the orders that we're not supposed to go. So, but I'm glad that we went actually, because when we went with the group, I didn't have that experience at all. It was much more intimate when we were around there.
What did you experience when you went there? I mean, like...
Oh, it was just very not particular experience. Just...
More intimate.
Intimate and interesting, because whoever was there, I don't know. The couple women was there, I don't know their names. I'm very bad in names anyway. But they explained to us, personally. And they start telling stories, old stories about Baba old and well. It was very interesting. And how Baba put his head on the stone, and they could hear, bouncing.
Hitting his head hard.
Yeah. All this, when we were in a group, it disappeared, all this. It was not so well explained. We were just with the group, taken around and pushed away. So I'm glad we did that. We had a chance to go by ourselves. And then I want to tell what happened when we drove to Samadhi. One of the days out from Pune, and we came here with buses, and it was terribly hot, and I thought that the drive will be just like 1 hour or half hour. That was my imagination. So I was standing and letting sit for other people. I was very gracious, Then later I was sorry because I get so tired. It was so hot.
Okay, go ahead.
So I get so tired, and it was very hot. And then when we came to Meherabad, and we walked up the hill was completely barren.
Nothing here.
Nothing here. Nothing.
No trees.
Not even grass. The grass was kind of dried out on top of the hill. But Baba's samadhi was nice and white. And then when I came back later, I thought, oh, I liked so white. White was nice and white because it was whitewashed. So, they changed. Oh, I was so sorry they changed because whitewash was so nice, the first impression. So we had to stay in line. I don't know, it was quite a long line, but...
Do you remember the dancers?
Yeah, I don't tell you that.
Okay.
No, I was standing in line and waiting, and I put the garland over my neck, because I thought that's easier, and somebody came and said, oh, you cannot put the garland over your neck, now you cannot put under Baba's samadhi, you cannot do that. So I took it down, but anyway, I thought to myself, well, I didn't know at the beginning, so I will put it for Baba anyway. And then there was dancing, there was the peasants from...
The villagers?
The villagers, yeah. From Arangam, they were dancing in front, and when my turn was to go to Samadhi, I really saw just light. I didn't see nothing else. I saw just bright light.
When you went into the samadhi?
Yes, and a lot of garlands, a mountain of garlands.
The steps were still there, right? They wasn't covered yet with the marble.
No marble. No marble.
You still had the steps in there.
I don't remember. It was just full of, I think it was covered with ground.
Earth. Yeah, the mountain.
And a lot of flowers. And for me it was so very bright, and I thought that's supposed to be bright. The walls for me was just bright white. And I bowed down, and when I get out, I leaned on the samadhi from the backside outside. I leaned on the samadhi wall of the rocks, and the music and the drums of the villagers. Each drum beat, I felt I get electric shock. I was back through the feet into the back. So at the beginning I stayed and enjoyed the shocks. Then later I thought maybe that's not good. So I moved away.
Did you put that garland, the same garland?
Oh yeah, I put the same garland. And I even didn't think about that. I didn't feel that I'm doing anything wrong. So, but I really was knocked out. I remember everything, the heat, the tiredness, and the Baba, and those villagers dancing. That's what I remember most. Then we went to Meherazad, and I remember Baba's room and everything else, but the biggest impression was this one.
The white and the samadhi, the bright light and the samadhi and the...
That was the biggest impression. Then later I remember when we went back to Pune, there were a lot of different small things happened which I just cannot remember. I know but a lot of things which touch me always. Mostly that is home somehow.
And you come home.
Yeah, and then the other very important, I felt very strong, that's what happened to me now is so important. There will be nothing more important happening in my life anymore.
You felt that at that time?
Yes, that will be. Nothing was so important before naturally, and nothing will happen so important later in my life. That's the highlight of my life. So,
after that, let me ask some questions. Do you remember when the Sufis were doing their great performances, and then we all got together at the Amir? I think that's where Jack's mom was staying, and we decided we wanted to do something too, but we didn't have any time. We didn't have anyone who really could sing or dance or anything. And I remember because like Mike Thorne and some of the others that did, they didn't come. So,
who sang the
MeherBabaLibrary.
that was Los Angeles Arte.
Los Angeles
And
Arte.
that actually I started at Arte.
Huh?
I started when we were in Los Angeles in Jack Small. I started singing there. And Jack Small anyway picked it up.
Did you start singing at the Venice bookstore?
Yes. No, it was by Phyllis, I think.
At Phyllis, did you start that?
Yeah, I started singing that by Phyllis. Meherabad, God is love, God is love. Jack Small added Avatar, what was love?
Yeah, but then anyway, MeherBabaLibrary started singing at all the meetings and everything. It became just part of the...
We become Arte, Los Angeles Arte, but you know, when I was next time, I don't know what year it was, when I was at...
Guru Prasad?
No, here, Meherabad, at Samadhi. And I remember Woman Mandali came and we were supposed to have a retreat because they came and sang the Arte. And Mehera started singing that and she sang that Arte.
Did you know did you go up with the group when Jack called everyone up? Did you go up and sing? I didn't go up because I was sort of embarrassed about it.
Oh, I participated wherever I could, but could not sing well.
But I heard many years later, after I moved here, that was Mara's favorite.
I know, that's why.
She had tears in her eyes, and so they started singing it at the Women's Art here. That was just when did the men, because I know we women on the first day of Darshan, the women mandali wanted to meet all the women, so we were called into the side room to meet all the women, and they were in a row. And we went and introduced ourselves and met them. Did the men do the same thing with the men mandali?
Oh, I don't remember particularly. We could meet men mandali at the time, There was no restrictions, nothing. So
but you didn't have, but when all...
It's possible that we had a meeting, I don't remember.
You just don't remember that particular thing?
No.
On the way back from Pune to Bombay, I remember we took the train. Do you remember that? We went, when we left to go back.
Which train?
We took the train from Pune to Bombay. It was a train we took.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? I do.
It is out of my mind completely.
What do you remember on the journey back?
See, I get sick.
Oh.
I get sick and I was, get very bad stomach problems. Because actually when we came from Samadhi, I was so hot, somebody suggested let's go and eat ice cream.
Oh, where did you eat ice cream?
In the hotel, in the Amir, in the restaurant.
Oh, when you went back to Pune, you had ice cream?
Yeah, in the evening. And next day I was just out completely. And actually the doctor, what is his name, who died, he was Baba's.
Kenmore? Dr. Kenmore?
No.
Which doctor?
Well, there you are.
Duncan, Dr. Duncan?
Duncan treated me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
And what did he say? He said it was because of the ice cream you ate?
Well, I don't know even if I told him that. I didn't realize, I just thought later that's probably the reason.
He probably knew you ate something.
Yeah, he gave me some pills, something strong, It actually cured me, but he said probably amoeba. And he says, you maybe don't get a recurrence, but I never get any recurrence.
So all the way, were you sick on the way home then, or were you okay by then?
I was okay, I just got fever. And I got blisters.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got some blisters. Yeah.
Oh.
And actually the customer asked me a question,
Right, what's wrong with you?
Well, yeah. And then I bought a lot of brass and sari material and things for my wife and my children. And I bought another luggage.
To carry it?
Yeah. But it was very bad quality. When I started putting and closing it broke everything. So I take string, that string.
Tie it.
Tie it around and around, one way and another way, tie it. And when I came in Los Angeles, the costume looked and they said, open this. That's the only thing they want to open, which was so tight.
It was such a trouble to open, that's what they wanted.
Trouble. They didn't, almost just brass things and clothes.
And they just let it go.
Well, yeah, but they look through everything. They are afraid of drugs and now. And that probably would, anyway, that's what happened.
And what did you now, and then when you were back, did you have any experiences just upon returning, or when you would sit and remember Darshan, did you feel that you were back here, or did you feel?
Oh, I could come back anytime in my mind. I could go back and bow down samadhi. And I feel like I'm in samadhi.
So you can put yourself back into samadhi whenever you were near it. So
I would sometimes in garage bow down even at the floor, under the cement floor.
But you were there. I mean, you were in your garage, bowed down the floor, but inside, internally, you were at the samadhi.
Yeah, exactly.
So every now and then you would get this need to bow down to the samadhi?
When I feel prayers and so doing prayer, then I would bow down and I get into samadhi in my mind. So